Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a sensitive but important topic, the signs that she may be cheating on you. I know, nobody wants to think about this, let alone talk about it. But relationships are built on trust. And sometimes we get a feeling that something's just not right. So in this video, we're going to talk about some signs that your partner might be cheating. Remember, these are just potential red flags, not definitive proof. Communication is key in any relationship, so if you notice any of these signs, the best thing to do is to talk to your partner about it. Let's get started. Have you noticed that your partner has been talking about a new guy a lot lately? It might have started subtly, just a name dropped here and there, but now it seems like he's a regular part of her conversations. Maybe it's a coworker, a friend, someone she met at the gym, or even a new neighbor. Whoever he is, he seems to be occupying a lot of her thoughts. And it's not just a passing mention, it's like she brings him up in every conversation. You might hear her say things like, "Oh, Mark from accounting said the funniest thing today," or, "You have to meet David. He's so into hiking just like you." These mentions might seem innocent at first, but if you start noticing a pattern, it could be worth paying closer attention. Is she always finding a way to bring him into the conversation, no matter the topic? Now, it's perfectly normal to have friends and talk about them, but if she's constantly gushing about this one particular guy, it might be a sign that she's a little too interested. It's important to consider the context and frequency of these mentions. Pay attention to how she talks about him. Is there a certain sparkle in her eye, or an extra level of enthusiasm when his name comes up? Does she seem more animated and engaged when discussing him compared to other friends? Is she always laughing at his jokes, even if they're not that funny? Humor can be a strong indicator of attraction, and if she's finding everything he says hilarious, it might be a clue. Does she seem more excited to talk about him than anyone else in her life? This heightened excitement can be a sign that she values his opinion and presence more than others. And here's a big red flag. If she suddenly stops talking about him altogether, that could mean she's trying to hide something. This abrupt change in behavior might indicate that she's aware of how much she's been mentioning him and is now trying to downplay it. Like maybe she realized she was talking about him too much and is now trying to cover her tracks. This could be a sign that she's feeling guilty or that there's more to the story than she's letting on. It's important to approach the situation with sensitivity and open communication. If you're feeling uneasy about the situation, consider having an honest conversation with her. Express your feelings without accusing her. Try to understand her perspective. Communication is key in any relationship, and addressing your concerns openly can help strengthen your bond. Remember, it's natural to have friends of the opposite sex, and not every mention of another person is a cause for concern. Trust and communication are the foundations of a healthy relationship. By talking things through, you can ensure that both of you feel secure and valued. Another sign that something might be up is if your partner starts working late more often. This isn't just about the occasional late night at the office, which can happen to anyone from time to time. I'm talking about a sudden and noticeable shift in her schedule. Maybe she used to be home for dinner every night, and now she's missing it 2 or 3 times a week because of urgent deadlines. You might find yourself eating alone more often, staring at an empty chair where she used to sit. The food you prepared goes untouched, and the warmth of shared meals is replaced by a growing sense of isolation. Or maybe she's suddenly taking on extra projects that require her to work weekends. This could mean she's glued to her laptop on a Saturday night, a time you used to spend together unwinding from the week. Now, I'm all for a strong work ethic, but if her dedication to her job seems to have come out of nowhere, it's worth paying attention to. It's one thing to be committed to your career, but it's another to be consumed by it without any prior indication, especially if she's being vague about what she's actually working on or who she's working with. If her explanations are filled with generalities and she avoids specifics, it might be a sign that there's more going on than just work. And if she seems distant or preoccupied when she is home, like she's not really present even when she's physically there, That's another red flag. You might notice her staring blankly out the window, lost in thought, or sitting next to you on the couch but feeling miles away. These changes in behavior can be subtle at first, but over time, they become impossible to ignore. It's important to trust your instincts and have an open conversation about what's really going on. Okay, this one's a biggie. Her phone. Has your partner's phone become an extension of her hand? Is she constantly glued to it, scrolling through social media, texting, taking calls that she steps away to answer? And when you ask who she's talking to, she just brushes it off with a "no one important" or "just work stuff." Look, we all love our phones, but there's a difference between checking your notifications and being completely absorbed in your device, especially when you're supposed to be spending quality time with your partner. If she's being secretive about her phone, like she hides the screen from you or gets defensive when you're near it, that's a major red flag. It could be a sign that she's hiding something, and that something could be communication with another person. This next sign is a little more subtle, but it can be just as telling: a decrease in intimacy. And I'm not just talking about physical intimacy, although that can be a factor too. I'm talking about emotional intimacy, the feeling of closeness and connection that you share with your partner. Has she become distant or withdrawn? Does she seem less interested in sharing her thoughts and feelings with you? Does she seem less interested in cuddling, holding hands, or just being physically close to you? Maybe she used to love spending time together, but now she seems to avoid it. Maybe she used to love your hugs and kisses, and now she barely tolerates them. Or perhaps she used to be the one to initiate these moments, and now she never does. Or maybe she's stopped initiating intimacy altogether. This can be a sign that she's feeling disconnected or uninterested. Of course, there could be other explanations for a decrease in intimacy, like stress, fatigue, or other relationship issues. Sometimes, external factors like work pressure or health problems can play a significant role. But if it's a sudden and unexplained change, it might be more concerning. A sudden shift in behavior can often indicate deeper issues that need to be addressed. And it's coupled with some of the other signs we've talked about, like lack of communication or increased arguments. It's worth paying attention to. These signs together can paint a clearer picture of the state of your relationship. If you notice these patterns, it might be time to have an open and honest conversation with your partner. Addressing these issues early can help you both understand each other's needs and work towards rebuilding that lost intimacy. Remember, every relationship goes through ups and downs, but recognizing and addressing the signs can make all the difference. It's about finding that love and connection again, and sometimes it just takes a little effort and understanding from both sides. Now let's talk about her social calendar. Has it suddenly become booked solid? Is she always rushing out the door to meet friends, go to events, or try new restaurants? And here's the kicker: you're never invited. It's one thing if she has her own separate social life that's perfectly healthy. But if she's constantly making plans without you, and she's being evasive about who she's with or what she's doing, it's natural to feel a little suspicious. It's like she's building a separate life that doesn't include you, and that's never a good sign in any relationship. This last sign is a bit ironic, but it's something to watch out for. She starts questioning you more. It's like she's become suspicious of your every move. Where are you going? Who are you texting? Why are you smiling at your phone? Now, it might seem counterintuitive, but this kind of behavior can actually be a sign of guilt. When someone is cheating, they often project their own guilt onto their partner. They start seeing their own actions and insecurities reflected in their partner's behavior. So, if she's constantly accusing you of things you're not doing, it might be because she's trying to deflect attention from her own wrongdoing. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Remember, these are just potential red flags. Every relationship is unique, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to infidelity. The most important thing is to trust your gut and communicate openly with your partner. If you have concerns, don't be afraid to address them. Stay tuned and take care.